Not too long ago, while doing a camp, I was trying to start a fire using my bow and drill like the early Indians used to here in this nation. Suddenly, the cord on my bow snapped. It made me remember a scripture found in Ecclesiastes 2:12. It says, "A cord of 3 strands is hard to break." I went back to my teepee and tried an experiment. I twisted 3 single strands, and it worked. Many of you, especially younger people, never heard of John Wycliffe, but he played a very important part for God in the history of our nation. By 1381, John translated the Latin Bible into English. This didn't make him very well liked by the Roman Church, as we will now see. Let's fly back into time to London, England. It's the year of 1370 A.D. There are horses on cobblestone streets passing in front of your little cottage. Young people are running to the marketplace, and you're one of them. It's very crowded, and church bells ringing, lots of excitement. You see something that catches your eyes, and you begin to hear something very peculiar. There's a man on a corner. He's preaching from looks like a leather-covered book. He has many English people around him, and you're listening. You run over to hear what he's saying, and you get there just as he's reading out of that book. He says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life." While preaching, Roman Catholic church leaders come into the crowd and yell, "Boy, away with ye all! This is false teaching against the Holy Roman Church." They grab the man preaching, take his Bible and destroy it in front of all watching. You're amazed at all this, and you ask someone next to you who that man was preaching. And they tell you, he's what the Roman Church calls a Lollard. Well, a Lollard was an idle babbler. He was one of John Wycliffe's followers, reading the New English Bible that he had printed in public. The Roman Church leaders are real mad, not so much at the Lollards, but at their leader John Wycliffe. It was his idea to print the Holy Roman Church Latin Bible, which no one could hardly read, into English without the permission of the only church of his day, the Roman Church. John Wycliffe saw so much sin and corruption in the Roman Church that he decided that the English people should be able to have a Bible in a language that they could read for themselves. And if they couldn't read, he'd send his friends out into the street corners and preach to them. Well, he wasn't well liked, and it cost him a big problem. Several years later, Roman church leaders walked into his parish and gave him notice that he would have to go to Rome and stand trial for printing the Bible without permission, and also for preaching without their approval. But before John was able to start trial, he died December 31st, 1384. Oh, the Roman Church was so upset at this, had the nerve to die without going to trial, that 41 years later they decided to dig up his bones and have a trial anyway, since people were preaching using his pamphlets and Bible. So they had a trial. They burned his bones and books at the stake. And they stood up in front of all the citizens of England that came to watch the sight. "Hear ye, hear ye, all ye citizens of England, we have condemned this man, or his remains, John Wycliffe, as a false teacher. And now we burn his books as a lesson of what will happen to you if you continue to spread his teachings. Furthermore, we, the official church, command that the followers of John denounce any involvement with his books and writings and his teachings, we also say
John
that if
Wycliffe's
you
death
are
didn't stop
caught-
God one bit. The Roman church or no one was going to prevent Jesus from building his church. Jesus said the gates of hell will not prevail against it. John Wycliffe was the first chord of 3. Let's find out on the next devotion who number 2 was that God used indirectly to establish this nation as a Bible-based, Bible-believing country.